You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. Time now to have conversation, that really concerns all of us. I mean, we are all at risk, It's been raining, and now when you see that the clouds have become a bit dark, you worry, and then you don't know what to do. Because now the situation is such that even if your neighborhood, is not flooding, you are most likely to drive through floods, because some way, somehow, a certain place that you will use is flooded.
Has been affected,
and the severity of the situation keeps compounding every day. So, for instance, if last year this side of town was not flooding, you realize that this year these places are getting flooded as well. And I think that and the intensity, keeps growing. And so it looks like with all the interventions that government, is initiating, that we are putting up to make sure that we work around this problem, is not yielding much results.
I mean, that's the effect that we are seeing, that the results we are looking for, we're not getting those results. But I think that is as a result of us playing catch up. You see, is a little too little, too late, because what's happening is that there are things like scraping of the surface of, let's say, forest, for example, forest cover being removed. And we are losing a lot of forest cover all over the country. It's not just at the Bree Hills or at Wager. We're losing forest cover everywhere. So that's one. Also, the indiscriminate building in places where you're not supposed to build is not only happening in Accra. It's also spread. That same behavior is happening around the country, Then there's the issue of global warming, which is actually out of our hands in a certain sense, So you are getting increased rainfall patterns. Now, it will be interesting to find out the measure of rainfall that we've experienced so far this year compared to, let's say, the last 10 years. If we saw that, it will put things in perspective. Are we getting more rains, or is it the same volume of rain that is creating more floods? But I think that these are things that are very important for government to get ahead of the curve. You can't afford to stay at the same pace as you were doing things. You see, what I said earlier was, when I was coming to work this morning, I was actually quite grateful to see that the areas that I typically drive through flood waters on the road 2 days, 3 days after the rain, today the waters were not there, which means that some work has been done. And I think it's important for us not to rest, because it should become a culture of maintenance where we understand that, look, as soon as the rain subsides, get into the gutters, let's start clearing them out. I've seen at different parts of Accra, people desilting gutters. And it's important.
I agree with you 100%, and I also think that we as a people need to begin to take responsibilities. You get it? I mean, who is the government anyway?
It's us.
You get it. And you're not expecting the president or the vice president to come to your neighborhood at Awoshi to come and sweep. They will just not do it. Because if the president is also supposed to be sweeping in front of his house, it means that you must also sweep in front of your house. How are you also helping in your own small way, to prevent some of these things? And I always tell people that, look, we are all calling on government to do stuff, but you are the first person who bears the brunt. So before NADMO gets there, your room is flooded, your television is gone, and these are stuff that you purchase with your hard-earned currency. And so I think that, yes, the government has a huge responsibility, but we individually need to contribute, because we are the ones who are creating the problems. I agree, that institutions must work, yes, but the institutions are made up of Ghanaians, of human beings. That police building cannot work and ensure security and safety. It is the human beings, who are in that building, who breathe life into this institution. As a point in our lives, throwing refuse in drains, and thinking that, but what is Zoom Lion doing? I mean, they are paid to come and do that, so they should do it. The issue is, you are the first person who will be the victim.
Yeah, no, but
you're the primary person.
So you see, the flaw in our thinking is that somebody says, I'm drinking water. I finished drinking water. I'm sitting in a trotro. Instead of, if you don't want to put the plastic in your pocket, which is what I do, drop it inside the trotro.
Yeah.
When they get to the destination,
they will
sweep out the trotro and put it at it, because every station has, rubbish receptacles,
exactly.
right? Now, instead of doing that, you take it and you throw it outside of the car, right? Now, when somebody like that is confronted, they say that, why? Is this place your father's house?
Yes.
Okay. So, so you that you're asking that question that makes no sense, okay, you're exposing so many ills about yourself. Because here's what's going on. Zoom Lion's job is not to sweep streets. We've come to the point where the sweeping streets has become sweeping rubbish. Sweeping streets is to keep the streets clean of silt. That's the work that, if all the street sweepers who come to sweep, that's all they're supposed to be sweeping silt, not rubbish.
Sometimes.
So if we put these rubbish receptacles around town, and people walk past the receptacle and throw the rubbish on the ground.
Quite honestly, I think that Ghanaians, we all have to begin to change, our way of doing things, our mindset.
Me, I say that we should
attitude,
start punishing people.
No, but you see, so
And-
my
and
issue is
because
no,
there's
hold
no
on.
punishment,
You see, so my issue is
misbehavior
when I say
happens.
that we all.
Yeah.
That includes leaders.
Yes.
That includes citizens.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
So when we say we need to change our way
Yeah.
of doing things, the man who sits at the top
Yes.
would also change his way of doing things.
Yeah.
When you go and sit there, the mandate that you've been given, discharge it effectively.
Yeah.
And I also see that as citizens, we can demand fair accountability
Yes.
if we are doing our part of the deal.
True.
So if you are throwing rubbish around, you don't have any moral rights. You even feel guilty.
Yeah.
Complaining
To
because
come
you
and
know
demand
that
that-
he who seeks equity must come with clean hands.
Yeah.
How well are we doing that? So if we are not doing our part of the job, it's very difficult for you to demand
of the
leaders to do what they are supposed to
Yeah.
do, because they come and clean the place, and then the next morning you drive around people and you ask yourself, so do human beings live here?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So you take huge sums of money, you go and give it to somebody.
Yeah.
We have to reach a certain point where if somebody is giving you a land for free and you know that is on waterway,
Yeah.
you just don't accept it, even when it is for free.
Yeah.
So how can a rational human being
Yeah.
take huge sums of money, go and buy trouble in the name of I want to build a house, in the name of I'm acquiring property, and you know that you are buying a death trap? What is the sense in this? And then you build this, you create, a problem for
yourself and
everybody,
everybody else.
and you are the first person to come and say
call
that,
on
but the
governments.
government should come. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, the regional minister has spoken about going through the different neighborhoods and clearing all, structures that are illegal, structures in waterways and all of that. I'm hoping that it's not just talk. I'm hoping that people lose buildings come down.
Yeah.
Structures that shouldn't be. Look, I don't know if you saw this building. It's a photo recently. A month, 2 months ago, there was somebody has built their wall, and then someone has come to build their house on the wall. The fence wall that the lady built her house, she's put a fence wall around her house. Somebody has used the fence wall as a foundation for his house.
How?
Yes. It's the most ridiculous thing. Look, so you see, and she says when she goes to complain, the authorities do nothing about it. You see, and so this comes back to what you're saying. Somebody is sitting in an assembly somewhere and has collected money, and that's the only way I can describe it, that you have collected money to do nothing about a complete illegality, and not only an illegality, a death trap.
Anyway, I'm lost
Yeah.
for words.
No, Frima,
because
this thing is
how
just
can
going
you?
on over and over and over again, and that's why, you see, and because it's Ghanaian, so the problem is becoming national. We are seeing it
Exactly.
everywhere,
Yes.
because the same Ghanaians that live in Accra are the same Ghanaians with the same Subamboni that live everywhere else in the country.
Yeah, but you know, so for me, I think that all of us,
yes,
from Mr. President to the very last person, you know, to the baby who has been born this morning,
yes,
we all need to change our way of doing things. You know, because if the policeman is doing what a policeman should do, if the teacher is doing what the teacher should do, if the politician is doing what he is supposed to do, and if citizens are doing what we have to do, look, we just have to stop begging politicians for money, begging people for money, you know, so that when they mess up, you can speak up.
We can speak up.
But if you let people buy you with peanuts, you understand. You know what they're doing is not right, but you can't say much. And you're also sitting in an office somewhere, you're supposed to help the nation develop, and you are taking monies and you're closing your eyes and allowing illegalities. Look, we have all failed. But the sad thing that I always say is, those of us who are at the bottom of the ladder know that we are the ones who will suffer the most. So we are the ones who have to do the right thing and demand our due, you know, from the leaders. But if you are messing up, you know. But anyway, just know that we are not out of the woods yet, you know, because there's going to be more rain. So, I mean, whatever you do, just have this at the back of your mind, that where will you sleep tonight if the rains come? And we have a statement from NADMO, the National Disaster Management Organization. Now, this is a weather warning. So today, 15th, okay, so that was yesterday, right? So it was released yesterday, 15th June 2022. Report from Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET, indicates that there will be more rains into the night along the coastal cities of Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, and Takoradi. All citizens living in these areas are warned to take precautionary measures to stay safe, especially those living in flood-prone areas. Such people are advised to move to higher grounds and identify safe havens in their communities to avoid danger. NADMO entreats the general public to pay heed to this weather warning and act accordingly to keep safe, counting on your understanding and placing premium on your safety and that of your family and property. Now, NADMO, okay, prevention pays. In case of any distress, you can reach us on our emergency lines 112 and 0302 964 884 0299 350 699. Signed, Georgia AC Director, Communications. So this should tell you that we are expecting more rains, you know, and you can even tell from the skies that more rains are coming, you know. And for me, David, I say that now that we have, you know, tools like social media, I mean, we can all be watchdogs, you know, and if you realize an illegality in your community, put it out, you know. I mean, now you have an avenue to let your worries be heard. So if nobody, you don't know where to find your MP, you don't know where to find, you can't go to the assembly, you are saying stuff, they are not minding you, draw other Ghanaians into this conversation. Let us have, you know, I mean, let's all come together. Have a national conversation about this. It's happened. Look at the uproar when we the Islamic SHS incident. We all have to force and push the IGP intervene. Push the education ministry intervene. Now we have that tool. Why are we not using it? So if we cannot reach the people in authority directly, we can send our message. Why? When Harriet Thompson wanted to communicate, she tweeted it. We can do that. Let's begin to do that. Now it's become easier for you to monitor what is happening elsewhere, because when there are floods, you know, people from all over the world are posting videos and pictures. So at least we have a fair idea what is happening. Let us do this. If this is how we have to tackle the problem, let us use it. Because now they say move to a safer grounds. Where is the safer grounds anyway?
That's what I want to know. So NADMO says safe havens. Do they have the places that are demarcated, NADMO safe haven? So if you go to Achimota, NADMO safe haven. Tesano, NADMO safe haven. North Condition,
there are places.
But is it identifiable? Can you
so you see,
it's written NADMO safe haven.
So David, my point is that the point I've been trying to make right through this morning is, even if it is identified, even if it is it is not the president. If it's not the vice president. The NADMO director himself will put you there and will go home. So if we all don't sit up and do the right thing and say that, yes, when it is raining, I want to be able to sleep and enjoy the beautiful weather. This is what will happen. When disaster comes, you are the victim. So anyway, we need to do our part and demand our due from our leaders.
By the way, I have a pet peeve with emergency numbers that don't look like emergency numbers that you cannot remember. 112 is easy. The rest, I don't know how they are emergency numbers.
No, but I mean, you save it on your phone, you know. So, NADMO, you just go on your phone, you save NADMO.
I don't get it. Anyway, emergency numbers should just remember. It should just come on the top of here. 3 numbers, that's it. No emergency numbers should go than 3.
No, but at least they've given you one of that.
They should change it and find 112, 113, 114. That's all. Okay, well, yes, please. Now, the military, see, this is one from the military as well. It says here, the Ghana Army activated Operation Boafo, a search and rescue operation to assist civil authorities, including NADMO, during yesterday's downpour. In line with this operation, the 48th Engineer Regiment of the Ghana Army set out to various flood-prone areas, communities in the city to rescue people, especially women and children, including the elderly, who may have been in danger as a result of the floods. Areas of the operation included Osu, Accra Central, Kaneshi, Nungwa Barrier, Circle, Odoko, among other areas. The Ghana Army wishes to assure the general public of its commitment to safeguarding life and property. Okay, so you can see some images of them, moving through. I saw a video of this truck in particular driving through the waters, and I just thought to myself how amazing it is that, I haven't seen them in action till this particular rain, but I think it's an important thing for us to, every day I talk about the 360 of, the Ghanaian society. So it's good to see that the army has jumped in to assist, NADMO. We were talking yesterday about first responders and our systems, the way we run our emergency systems. Elsewhere, you realize that the fire service is equipped with every tool imaginable as a first responder. In the US, for example, every situation you find that happens, whether it's flooding, whether it's a burning building, whether any kind of rescue mission, first responders. In this case, we have the 48th Engineers Regiment, who are heavily equipped, to do engineering works and also have the capacity for rescue, you see. But I think that we need to look at it properly and see how. So yesterday, when the tree fell down, we're covering this on the flood coverage, flood show that we're doing. You realize that they were using cutlasses to cut down the trees, and I asked myself, why are we still doing 1980 things?
Well, I think
and then they brought the chainsaw, and then they're now fueling the chainsaw. Sometimes it's disheartening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
meanwhile, there are chainsaws in forests. When you are driving through forest areas, you hear the chainsaws non-stop, 24/7. You are hearing
when
chainsaws.
They are going to do illegal felling of trees, they have chainsaws
are buzzing through the night.
And even apart from that, David, you see, so I always say that. So people talk about climate change and the fact that these things are happening everywhere. Now, I always ask myself, that the kind of flooding that, for instance, the U.S. is experiencing, if this flood was in Ghana, would we have survived?
Yeah, because when their floods are coming, it's not because of choke gutters.
Thank you very much.
It's a real act of God.
Yes. Can we survive? See what is happening at the Yellowstone National Park, a whole building like that. So you're going to you visit the park, in the morning. By evening when you come, there's no building there. And if this happens in Ghana,
how will we survive? How will we manage? How will we deal with it?
I mean, we will all just start praying, and that's what we know how to do best. You understand? And sometimes I really feel that God is not listening to us. Because some of these things are common sense. God has given us wisdom. Look, He doesn't have time for stuff like that too. What I say. Idea was what the common sense. No, God doesn't have time. He won't do miracle like that. So if you let the pray and fast for 30 days, 40 days, do all that. If you throw rubbish in the drain when it rains, it will flood and flood the church.
Yeah.
The pastor's home will be flooded.
Yeah.
Church elder, your home will be flooded if we don't decide to do the right thing.
Yeah.
This is common sense.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
supernatural is never needed or will not be engaged where the natural can take care of the
because
situation.
ask yourself, when
It's
there are
as simple as
flood,
that.
when there's flood elsewhere, do you see the water brown?
No.
Is it not clear water?
Yeah.
Why is our own flood
Brown
like
waters.
granite soup? No, so it should tell you that some of these issues are artificial problems. We are creating the problems. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Is this water?
Yeah,
This looks like some cocoa beverage.
Yeah,
You understand? What happened? You know, and
granite soup.
look at that.
It's some anemic granite soup.
And now, you know, earlier you say that, okay, so in Accra, we're experiencing this, but now it's a national issue, right? So let's go to the central region, okay? And let's see how they are also dealing with floods.
And Ridge in the central regional capital, Cape Coast, their best bet will be to see the construction of proper drainage facility in the area to prevent future occurrences of flood. According to the residents, the rain started late Tuesday evening through to Wednesday, creating a lot of havoc in several communities. Places such as Cape Coast Sports Stadium area, communities around the University of Cape Coast, Abora, among others, all experienced some level of flooding. At the West End Ridge, 2 vehicles belonging to some residents were submerged after a few hours of rain. Residents say the lack of proper drainage system in the enclave is the cause of the flooding. They also blamed the assembly for the floods. Here are some residents speaking to City News about the extent of damage caused by the rain.
I was even passing by a game shop and the game shop was just flooded and others were scooping water even out of their houses. So I think it's the same problem every year. I think the best thing that can be done is we address this issue and then direct the major drains to their right routes, because just like something like you can see that it's a lot of water rushing from here, but where is the water passing? There's no any drain, there's no gutter, nothing. So it's the same issue every year.
So this water goes onto the streets and then destroying?
Exactly. And then even cars can also have accidents and stuff. Look, I was coming, my whole shoe is wet, there's water in my shoes. So I think the government really needs to do something about it. And it shouldn't be something we should always keep complaining about. It needs to stop.
Are you tired of complaining?
Of course I am. I'm very, very tired of complaining, because next year we are going to talk about it again. I think the last time I was listening to the news and then I heard of Accra and I was like, this is going to happen every day. But that is not what we want. So if there's a best solution to it, we need the best and permanent solution, not temporary solutions, because I think that's what mostly happens. Most of the solutions are temporary. So after a short while, we get back to the same problem again and we have to resolve. And that is also a lot of waste of resources.
Actually, this is a new site. And then, according to them, the municipal assembly, they are supposed to even construct a road for us. Because they have been coming here for perpetuate and arrest. And we have been complaining to them. And up to now, nothing has been done. So we need help. We need gutters over here, or we need streets. So we are struggling because when it rains, those down here are always suffering.
The major problem is coming from where the municipal have their bungalow. They've built a new bungalow around West End Ridge. That place, it was a flooded area. So when they were building, they decided to construct a drain. But the drain, no, it's not big enough to contain the water when the water comes.
For this individual, whose vehicle and that of her sisters submerged in the rain, the extent of damage done to them is huge.
Within 30 minutes, the whole place was flooded, and we couldn't even come out. So my sister's car and my car was stuck in the rain. Unfortunately, my husband was around, so he rushed in his Wellington boots, came quickly, picked my sister's car, the place too.
So your sister has had his car destroyed at some point?
Anyway, she decided she didn't know the car was damaged or something has happened, so she decided to go to UCC to check something on her phone. So when she was going, she said she got to Pedu Junction and the car was not moving. When she got to the traffic light at UCC, the car couldn't move again. She came out and the engine was overheated. So she decided to call her mechanic to come and check it for.
For residents of Western Ridge in Cape Coast, few hours of rain has caused a lot of havoc in this community. They want authorities.
All right, so those were scenes from Cape Coast, which is also experiencing floodwaters this rainy season. Now, our colleague Calvis Tete has joined us on the line. Calvis, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yeah, so, well, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm doing great, David.
Okay, I'm well, thank you. Now, what's the situation like this morning, generally, where you are?
Well, David, this morning, people are going about their normal activities. Yesterday's rain caused a lot of havoc in Cape Coast, Western Ridge, the Cape Coast Sports Stadium area, Amamuma around the UCC area. These are areas that are flood-prone areas when it rains. The residents there tend to get a lot of their properties being destroyed. Yesterday's incident, residents there believe it is something that could have been avoided because, one, if the assembly had constructed drains in that west end area, it would have eased the burden on residents when it rains. They believe that the lack of gutters and huge gutters around that area is as a result of the flooding that happened. The residents also say that their worry is that assembly authorities come there to collect property rates, and they know the problems there, but they have turned a blind eye to it, leaving them at the mercy of the flood.
Yeah. So, Calvis, the challenge with some of these areas that we are looking at, as you mentioned, no gutters and so on, but some of these areas were actually historically wetlands.
Yes.
So you build in a wetland and then you want government to come and construct gutters in the wetland?
Yes, David, that was one of the things I also noticed, because I asked the residents that whether they are aware that that area is a wetland, because you realize that there are huge mountains around, and then the small portion of land in between the mountains, that is where they have built their house. I mean, if you know Western Ridge, it is just around the Fountain School. Fountain School on the hill. So just on the underneath the mountain, that's where the residents have actually pitched camp. I asked the residents why they are built there. They said, I mean, at the time they sold the property to them, it was not like that. And then they're also blaming the Fountain School for not actually engaging in some construction work around that area to also protect their property. That is what they are saying. They are saying that if the school are able to develop more of this land, it will help ease the burden when it rains. But you can't blame the school. I mean, they are who is running it in the future. You don't expect that because you are staying in that area, they should develop that area to ensure that culverts and gutters are done. They are putting the blame on the doorstep of the assembly. And then again, around the UCC area, there's also another wetland there. That portion of land there gets flooded, and I've done several reports on that portion of land around UCC area. It gets flooded when it rains, and it is worse to see to yourself, Kweku. And then around the Crypto Sports Stadium area too, there's a similar incident that happened there yesterday. That area, I don't know, but that area is also a wetland. But then you realize that there are no gutters. So when it rains, all the water tends to come onto the main edge of the road, destroying portions of the road in that land. He was worried that the vehicle was damaged once, but then he says that the assembly has constructed that he believes the property should not have been destroyed. It was not a good thing to go into the whole houses to see. I mean, people's walls broken down, their rooms getting flooded by the rain. But then again, they said they are the mercy of the assembly. They believe they are taking property risk, and for that matter, the assembly should do something about it.
Yeah, just give us a sense of, let's say, the last, 10, 15 years. Is it raining more now, or is this rainfall pattern the same as it has always been?
Well, because, you know, the rains that started yesterday started actually late Tuesday evening. At that time, it had not started even in Kakwa and all that. I got to Cape Coast in the morning to meet the rain. At that time, it had not started raining here. So when you look at the rain pattern, you realize that it rains more in that portion of the region more than any other place in the, let's say, even in Kakwa. So I can tell you for a fact that it is going to continue to rain because that portion of the region experiences a lot of rain.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Calvis. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you. So that was Calvis Tete, our Central Regional Correspondent, giving us a sense of the national nature of the problem. It's not just an Accra thing. Even though our lenses are focused on Accra, we are seeing that it's happening elsewhere. And Fema, it seems to be happening even beyond Central Region as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a national issue, you know, so it's next to, I don't know, between flooding and you know, COVID, which one we could describe as a serious pandemic. You know, but this is the situation. You asked him whether it's been raining more or stuff like that. Well, climate change, you know, is causing, you know, a change in the system. But the thing too is we are also increasing in our, I mean, human activities that will give us more problems. So we realize that now we are bringing in more containers, more kiosks, more this, more that. People are beginning to flood urban spaces, you know, and we are not checking this. So you realize that, that's why I keep saying it is a collective problem, you know, and we forget that the person who is sitting in that office, you know, in that assembly, behave just like you are behaving. So we are all adding onto the problem. And so if we are changing our ways, we want the assembly to do stuff, but are we also prepared to change stuff, to stop doing certain things? Well, we'll come back to it. We'll talk more because this is what we have to be looking at, how we can deal with this flooding situation in our country. This is Breakfast Daily. We'll be right back.